You are listening to Tales by WZ. Today's story is about a husband who catches his wife cheating in their own bed, stays calm, and lets evidence do the talking in court. As you listen, notice the moment where you would have walked away and refused to fight for someone who already chose to leave. My wife said, "You're not going to fight for us." I replied, "There is no us." Then I stayed calm, took photos, called my lawyer, filed for divorce, and I just watched as her affair turned into a ruling that left her with nothing. I am 36, and 3 weeks ago I walked into my own bedroom and watched my marriage end in one glance. It was a Tuesday afternoon. I had left work early because of a bad migraine. All I wanted was silence and a dark room. When I came into the house, I heard noises upstairs. At first, I honestly thought we were being robbed. Then I heard my wife laugh. That specific flirty laugh she does when she thinks she is being cute. I went up the stairs, opened the bedroom door, and there they were. My wife, 33, and her coworker from the accounting firm in our bed. They did not even notice me at first. When they finally looked up and saw me standing there, my wife went pale. He scrambled for his clothes, stammering apologies. My wife pulled the sheet up and went for the classic line. "This is not what it looks like." I held up my hand. "Stop, just stop." She froze. I could see in her face that she expected a scene. Yelling, throwing things, crying. This is the part where a lot of people lose control and hand away their power. Instead, I took a breath and said, "If you want to go, go." "I am not stopping you," she blinked. "What?" "You heard me," I said. "If this is what you want, if he is what you want, then leave. I will not beg you to stay or fight for someone who does not want to be here." Her coworker was already half-dressed and edging toward the door, clearly waiting for me to swing at him or grab him. I stepped aside. "You can leave too," I said. "I am not going to touch you, just go." He practically ran out of the house. My wife sat there wrapped in the sheet, looking confused. "You are really just letting me leave?" she asked. "What did you expect?" I said. "A dramatic meltdown, me begging you to stay. You made your choice. Live with it." She got dressed slowly, like she was waiting for the explosion that never came. I just stood there, arms crossed, watching her pack a bag. "That is it," she said. "You are not even going to fight for us." "There is no us to fight for," I said. "You ended that 20 minutes ago." She left, went to her sister's place. I found that out later. Here is what she did not know. I had already been suspicious for about 2 months. She had been working late a lot more. She changed the passcode on her phone. She got defensive when I asked basic questions about her day. The usual signs were all there. So 3 weeks before I walked in on them, I had already talked to a lawyer. Not because I wanted a divorce, but because I wanted to know my options if this went bad. The lawyer told me that in our state, adultery matters. It can affect how assets and alimony are decided, but you need proof, not just suspicions. So when I opened that bedroom door and saw them, I did not scream. I pulled out my phone and took photos. Several shots, different angles, clear faces, timestamps visible. While my wife was getting dressed, I texted the photos to myself, then backed them up to cloud storage. Then I let her leave. Calm, controlled. She thought that meant I did not care. In reality, it meant I knew what I was going to do next. This is something people forget. Calm does not equal weak. Sometimes it just means the plan is already in motion. The day after she left, I called my lawyer. "I have the evidence," I said. "Let us file." By Friday, we filed for divorce. We cited adultery and attached the photos. We requested that she receive nothing from the marital assets beyond her personal belongings and what she brought into the marriage. The papers were served at her sister's house on Monday. According to her sister, who has actually been pretty honest with me, my wife completely lost it when she saw the filing. She called me. I did not answer, then she texted. "We need to talk about this. You cannot just file for divorce without discussing it with me first." I replied, "You did not discuss sleeping with your coworker before doing it. I do not owe you a conversation." "This is ridiculous," she wrote. "We can work this out. It was a mistake." "Talk to your lawyer," I wrote back. That is what mine told me to say. Then I blocked her number and let everything go through attorneys. To be clear, I was not happy about any of this. We had been married 7 years. I thought we were building a life, but I also know my worth, and I am not going to fight to keep someone who used our bed like a hotel. People kept asking if I was okay. Honestly, no, but I knew I would be. Sometimes you have to separate how you feel from what you know you need to do. 2 weeks later, the divorce machine was fully running. My wife had hired an attorney, paid with help from her sister because she did not have much savings. Her lawyer sent a settlement proposal. They wanted half the house, even though I bought it before we got married. Half my 401k alimony for 5 years, half of my contracting business. Her car paid off in full, even though the loan is in my name. My lawyer literally laughed and sent back a counter. She would get her personal belongings. She could keep her car if she took over the payments right away. That was it. The photos were already in the file. In our state, adultery matters in equitable distribution. That means the judge looks at who did what, not just splitting things down the middle. Her lawyer called mine. Apparently my wife had downplayed the cheating. She told her attorney it was a single mistake, caught one time, and that I had overreacted. Then her lawyer saw the photos. The calls got quieter after that. Meanwhile, there was another explosion waiting. Her coworker, the guy in my bed, is also married. With kids, his wife had no idea. I did not tell her. My wife's sister did. She was furious that my wife had brought all this into her home and decided everyone should face the truth. The coworker's wife called me, asking if I had proof. I told her to have her lawyer contact mine. Now there were 2 divorces happening, and the coworker's wife was using my evidence too. Soon after, the coworker got fired. Their company has a strict policy against relationships between certain employees. Once HR got an anonymous tip, both of them were let go. My wife lost her job, her affair partner, and her marriage in about 3 weeks. Her sister called me. "She is a mess," she said. "Can you at least talk to her?" "Why?" I asked. "Because you were married for 7 years. Because she is depressed and not eating, because she is family." "She stopped being family when she brought someone else into our bed," I said. "She made her choices. Now she gets the results." "You are being cruel," her sister said. "No," I said. "I am being realistic. She wants sympathy from me for consequences she created. She will not get it." Her sister said my wife was telling people I was taking everything from her. "I am not taking anything," I said. "I am keeping what is mine and letting her keep what is hers. That is how divorce works when you cheat." I hung up and blocked that number too. A few days later, my wife showed up at the house. I had changed the locks. The house is in my name only, title from before the marriage. She pounded on the door, crying, demanding to be let in, saying we needed to talk. I called the police and explained that my soon-to-be ex-wife was trying to enter after being told she no longer had access. The officers came. "This is my house," she said. "He cannot lock me out," one officer asked. "Whose name is on the deed?" "His," she said. "Then it is his house," the officer said. "You need to leave. You can work with your lawyer to collect your belongings, but you cannot just show up." She left, screaming that I was destroying her life and that she made one mistake. One of the officers looked at me and said, "Sorry you are going through this. Divorce is rough." "Thanks," I said. "I just want it done." 3 weeks later, we had the hearing. In the time between, my wife tried a few angles. She claimed I had been financially abusive and that this drove her to seek comfort somewhere else. My lawyer brought bank statements. We had separate accounts. I paid the mortgage, utilities, groceries, about $3,200 a month. She paid her car, her phone, and her personal stuff. When she quit her job last year to find herself, I covered everything. No missed payments, no cutoffs. Financial abuse claim dismissed. She tried to argue the house should be split because she contributed to its value. My lawyer asked for proof of repairs, improvements, anything in her name. She had none. I am a contractor. I did all the work and paid for materials myself. That went nowhere. She tried to argue the photos were illegal and should not be allowed. My client took these in his own house, in his own bedroom, my lawyer said. There is no violation of privacy when someone is committing adultery in your property. The judge agreed. This is a key point. Sometimes people rely on big claims without thinking about basic facts. The hearing itself was surreal. She showed up dressed in black like she was going to a funeral, minimal makeup, tissues in hand, full victim mode. Her lawyer started with the single mistake story. One moment of weakness. A tearful speech about how this should not destroy her financial future. Then my lawyer stood up. "Your Honor, I would like to submit exhibits A through F," he said. Time-stamped photographs taken by my client when he discovered his wife and her coworker in his bed. The judge looked down at the photos. His face shifted from neutral to unimpressed. My wife broke into loud sobs. "Ma'am," the judge said, "I need you to compose yourself." Her lawyer tried to recover. "It was one time," she said. "Actually, Your Honor," my lawyer said, "we have records showing it was not one time." He had subpoenaed phone records. I did not even know he had done that. 328 text messages between Mrs. and her coworker over 4 months, he said. Location data shows multiple visits to his apartment during times she told Mr. she was going to the gym. The judge raised his eyebrows. Her lawyer tried to argue emotional connection versus ongoing physical affair. "The photos answer that question," my lawyer said. "The court can see exactly what was happening." "The court certainly can," the judge said. "The ruling was clear. I keep the house. I bought it before the marriage. I keep my 401k. She never contributed. I keep my contracting business. She had no role in it. She keeps her car and the remaining $8,000 in payments. She gets $12,000 from our joint savings. We had $24,000 total. No alimony due to adultery and the overall circumstances. Each of us pays our own legal fees except for one later motion she had to cover." My wife looked stunned. "This is not fair," she said. "I have nothing. Where am I supposed to live?" "That is not the court's concern," the judge said. "You should have considered the consequences before engaging in extramarital affairs. The ruling stands." Outside the courtroom, her sister was waiting. She started yelling again about how I ruined her life. "I did not ruin anything," I said. "She did that herself." "She has no job, no money, nowhere to go," her sister said. "And whose choices led to that?" I asked. "She cheated. She got fired for breaking company policy. These are her consequences, not mine." "You could have been merciful," her sister said. "Given her the house, given her money to start over." "Why would I reward her for throwing away 7 years of marriage?" I said. "I am not her safety net anymore." I walked away. Later, I heard from my lawyer that her attorney filed a motion claiming new evidence that I had hidden assets. That evidence was a savings account with $35,000 that I had before we even met, premarital money. My lawyer pointed that out. The judge denied the motion in minutes and ordered her to pay my legal fees for responding. She did not have the money. Her parents paid it. The coworker's divorce finished too. His wife took the house, most of his retirement, full custody, and alimony. He is in a small studio now. Turns out the image my wife had of him was just that. Image. The nice car was leased. The suits were on credit. He is broke. So she left a stable marriage for a man who cannot even support himself. Mutual friends say she is living with her parents. No job, no money. Most days in bed. Some people think I should feel bad for her. I do not. Not because I enjoy her suffering, but because she is not my responsibility anymore. Feeling bad does not change what she did or what I had to do. The house feels empty now, so I am selling it. Too many memories. I already accepted an offer. I will make about $40,000 more than I paid 5 years ago and use that to start fresh. My business is doing well. I landed 3 new contracts this month. Staying busy helps. I have started talking to someone new slowly. A friend of a friend who knows the story and says she respects how I handled it. We will see what happens. My ex tried one last reach out. She did not have my number, but her mom called. "She is really struggling," her mom said. "She made a mistake, but she has learned from it. Would you consider helping her? Maybe some money so she can get back on her feet." "No," I said. "She is family," her mom said. "She was family," I said. "She ended that when she slept with her coworker. Tell her to ask him for money." "He does not have any," her mom said. "Then she should have thought about that before throwing away a marriage to a man who did," I said, and I ended the call. Maybe that sounds cold, maybe it is. But here is the truth. I gave that woman 7 years. Supported her when she quit her job. Paid all the bills while she found herself. I never used it against her. I never threw it in her face. She repaid that by cheating in our bed. I did not destroy her life. I protected mine. There is a difference. The calm way I handled it that day was not because I did not care. It was because I cared more about my future than about giving her a dramatic scene. Those photos, those records, that evidence, that is what kept me from losing everything I had built. Without them, it would have been her word against mine. In another state or another situation, I could have lost half of everything. Instead, I kept my house, my business, my savings, and my peace. Was the marriage ending worth it? No, I wish she had been faithful. I wish we had grown old together. But I do not control other people. I only control what I do when they show me who they are. I chose to value myself enough not to fight for someone who clearly did not value me. That is not revenge. That is self-respect. Lesson 1. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them. Do not rebuild the fantasy version in your head. Lesson 2. Calm is not weakness. Staying calm when you are hurt can protect you in real ways, especially when legal and financial stakes are involved. Lesson 3. Document everything when trust is broken. Evidence turns a painful story into a clear case. Lesson 4. Protecting yourself is not cruelty. Saying no after someone breaks your trust is a boundary, not revenge. Lesson 5. Consequences are not something you do to someone. They are often what happens when their choices finally meet reality. Lesson 6. You do not have to fight for a relationship that the other person already walked out of. Your energy is better spent building the next chapter. What about you? In this situation, would you have confronted them differently, or done the same and walked away quietly with proof? Have you ever stayed too long trying to fix something that the other person had already decided to break?